You know, these days we often hear, take the E off emotion. Nah, I want you to keep it on there. Take the E off emotion, make it emotion. No, no, no. Keep it right on there. And matter of fact, I want you to honor your he emotions. Yeah, being a man is hard work, but it's heart work. I want you to honor your emotions simply because even in a society that castigates the whole aspect that vulnerability and vulnerability and masculinity cannot coexist in the same space. Vulnerability is oftentimes seen as femininity, but not true masculinity. It really is what being a man is all about. Yeah, the emotion of what it is that we channel positively as emotionally intelligent men. Let's have the conversation about it. I'm mic'd up. Let's mix it up. What's good, good people? So good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. As a man, wearing your heart on your sleeve, much less expressing your heart on paper, has never been the macho or masculine thing to do. But yeah, it really is. And that's why I want to talk about emotions. Why strong men struggle. Emotions. Because we are men of strength, but we're not men of steel. You got blood running warm in your veins. It's not steel. And steel, we have been stifled, stymied, simply because of the strife that has oftentimes been in our life. The things that we have not necessarily dealt with. The things that have kept us emotionally incarcerated, psychologically imprisoned. You think about the mythical Superman stories, comic book characters. They don't replace the essence of our character, which is, it is to feel, it is to communicate, it is to express, it is to verbalize that joy or even pain. One of the most powerful things that you can do as a man is literally to give voice to your emotions. To channel the whole aspect, to not allow struggle to overcome you. Giving voice to your emotions, giving voice to your struggles is your superpower. Come on, family, hit the thumbs up on this video. We're having a courageous conversation today for all of the brothers and the women who love us. That's why we're here. Courageous conversation for all the brothers and the women who love us. Family, type superpower. Superpower. I've heard you. Oh, it's always conversations about what women need to do. But what about the men? Say less. Say less, listen more. Share this with a brother. Share this with a brother. This is for the brothers and the women who love us. Giving voice to your emotions as a man, giving voice to your struggles is a superpower. We got to realize this. Listen, man, more like Clark Kent than Superman, more like T'Challa than Black Panther. We're more like David Banner than the Hulk. We're more than our anger. We're more than our rage. Sis, I need you to understand this about a man. And brothers, I need you to understand this about yourself too. because society, the stigmas, will in many cases stifle you to only just be one-dimensional versus being multidimensional. As men, we really desire more than just sex, silence, and a sandwich, and the ego stroke. There's more to us than just that. I hear you, bro. Well, it ain't just so bad if that's all I got. No, you're more than that. There's more to you than that. More to you than just sex, silence, sandwich, and the ego stroke. Within you, when you really peel back the layers, when you really take off the mask of masculinity, because the prefix of masculinity is pronounced mask, when you really peel beyond the layers, when you really take off the mask, when you really delve deep and take a deep dive into who it is that you are interpersonally, you will see within you is compassion. You will see within you is vision. You will see within you is responsiveness. Come on, family, type real man. Real man. You're a real man, bro. Sis, I know you want a real man. More than just muscles, but mentality. More than just his wallet, but his wisdom. More than what he drives, but what's driving him. A real man. I'm not talking about these fictional characters that y'all posting about on social media. Talking about don't even approach me if you ain't making 100,000. Stop all that nonsense. A lot of times what people are saying publicly and really who they're dealing with privately are two totally different things. Real conversations about a real man. Yeah, even strong men struggle. Sometimes what you got to do, you got to dig deeper, dig a little bit deeper to unravel what has been buried. And you know what? It's been buried in the place of where the hurting boy was. It got buried when you were 8. And so now you're struggling to become great. It got buried when you were 10. And that's what your attitude is at, on 10. Now, here's why I'm here. I'm here to help you make that greatness come alive. To bring the real man back out. Because sadly, vulnerability and masculinity rarely can coexist in the same space. It's often in dichotomy. Our vulnerability is generally castigated as femininity. And here's what I realized. I realized there's still more work to do. There's more strides for us to make. I believe God is healing a generation of men. Masculinity is not toxic in and of itself. It's only toxic people. You don't hear nothing about no toxic femininity. But guess what? There's some women who are toxic too. Just like there are men who are toxic. It's the person, it's the pattern. Here's the thing. In a time of quote unquote toxic masculinity, chest beating bravado, alpha male affinity, here's what we must do. We must tap into our true identity and our authenticity. We must do that more than ever before. Yeah, you hear a lot about red pill talk, red pill conversations, but here's the thing. Let's have real talk conversations. Because oftentimes the pill is a sedative. Ain't no pill for what's real. It only transpires when we see love as an asset rather than a liability. You know what real love as a real man expressing real love does? Real love mends hearts. It heals wounds. Real love empowers us to wear our crown as a king. Come on, family, type king. Type king. Come on, queens, type king. Come on, queens. When I said queens, you was crown all day, crown all day, crown on, crown on. Come on, don't get quiet now when I say type king. Matter of fact, let's take it another level. Drop a crown in the chat for the king. Drop a crown in the chat for the king that's a grandfather. Drop a crown in the chat for the king that's a husband. Drop the crown in the chat for the king that's your son. Drop a crown in the chat for the king, for your husband, for your future husband, for your spouse in your house. The only time I want you to drop a crown is in this chat. Come on, put some respect on these men's name. Love the man out loud. Oh, yeah. Come on, love the king out loud. You know what king means? I got an acronym for queen, and y'all know that. Quintessentially unique, empowering everyone naturally. It's what real queens do. I even took it to the level of divas. Divinely inspired, victorious, accomplished sisters. And I even gave you another one. Divinely inspired, victorious, anointed sisters. I put nothing but respect on y'all name, ladies. You know it. I ride hard for y'all. But keep that same energy for these brothers. Because here's what king is. King means keenly intelligent, noble gentleman. That's what it is. God is empowering a generation of kings. And here it is. Kings with rings. Yeah. Keenly intelligent, noble gentleman. Let's take it to another level. King is a man. Man, mature, assertive, nurturer. That's his identity. We throw king out there around a lot. But there's an identity to a king mentality. Keen. You know what keen is? Keen is about wisdom. A keen king. Yeah, that's what you got to develop, that level. A keen king. If you're going to lead, you got to read. If you're going to lead, you got to make sure that you're imbibing wisdom. What was Solomon? The King Solomon. King Solomon, his request to God was not, Lord, let me secure the bag. Wasn't, Lord, give me riches and wealth. But he was saying, Lord, I need you to give me wisdom so that I can judge the right way, so that I can rule and reign and lead in the way that I need to lead. And God said, listen, simply because you did not ask me for wisdom, I'm going to give you what you didn't even ask for. I'm going to give you the riches. Why? Because here's the thing. If I have wealth, but I don't have wisdom, I will waste my wealth simply because I don't have any wisdom on how to be a servant leader, on how to be a person who walks in a level as a good steward of the wealth that I do have. Wealth is of the mind, not just of the pocket. King. Keenly intelligent. So I got wisdom and intelligence. And here's the thing. We don't pride intelligence on a man. Competitive nature, muscles, money, clout, but not intelligence. Your uniqueness is in your intelligence. I've heard women say all the time, ain't nothing like a man who's tough, but he also is intelligent. He can teach me something. What's your level of intelligence at? We need critical thinking men. We don't need go-along men. We need men who are willing to challenge the system. Our society, our community, our country is crying out for men who are going to stand again with a backbone. Who are going to call a spade a spade. Won't call wrong right and won't call right wrong. Noble. Keenly intelligent, noble. Noble. Your nobility speaks to your level of maturity. It's the level of decency. It's the level of decorum. It's the level of respect that you have for yourself, but also for other people. Level of nobility is my maturity. Level of nobility is in my identity. Keenly intelligent, noble, and a word that we don't hear enough today, gentleman. Gentleman is about more than just holding doors open. And you should do that. Gentleman is about more than being dressed to the nines, being cleaner than the board of health, being G'd up from the feet up, and that's cool too. But here's the prefix of gentleman is the word gentle. We generally don't connect gentleness with masculinity. We connect gentleness with solely femininity. Gentle means I understand that everybody has a fragile do not drop label on their lives. And so I'm going to treat them with TLC, with tender loving care. I'm going to be emotionally responsive. I'm going to be emotionally intelligent enough to understand this. Here it is. A real man is not just about standing up. A real man is about standing down. Come on now. You know you did something in 15 minutes that now messed your life up for the next 15 years. You went from 0 to 100 real quick. Simply because you were so emotional, but you weren't rational. And you wound up doing time behind bars. Because you took somebody's life. Because you stole something. In a fit of rage, of anger. Of here it is, impulsivity. Gentlemen. Gentlemen don't mean you're weak, bruh. Come on, family, type gentleman. Gentleman. Gentleman doesn't mean you're weak. Gentleman means, here it is, you're meek. And I ain't talking about Meek Mill either. And I ain't talking about no rapper. I'm talking about reaching deeper. Meekness is not weakness. You know what meekness is? Meekness is strength subdued. I really could knock your block off right now. But guess what? I got meekness. I really could cuss and fuss right now, but no, that ain't even me. That's no. I'm a better version now. I'm a better me. I'm a healed me. There's a TLC me. So you don't want to see me. Come on. I really could go there with you, but I'm not. I'm going to take the high road. I know what it's like to take the low road. First part of ignorance is pronounced ignore. Ignorance. Real masculinity. Authenticity, vulnerability. Why? Because I've tapped into the man in the mirror. I see myself clear. Need you to hear me? True manhood is more than just a destination. It's a journey of reflection. If I never reflect, I'll never connect. If I never reflect, I'll never direct. If I never think about what I'm thinking about, if I'm never metacognitive, how can I be decisive? Because for many of us, we're indecisive. Indecision is a decision. As a man, you got to know what you want. As a man, you got to know what you're going for. As a man, you got to know what you want to become, who you want to become, how you want to overcome, who you want coming with you. Taking a deep look at that man in the mirror. It's more than a song, it's a structure. It's a system. In the midst of the problems, there is an avenue for solutions. Yes, being a man is hard work, but it's hard work. The hard work comes by looking into the mirror to see past your suit into your soul. To see past your shirt, to say, what's the work that I need to do? Family, there's more for us to talk about. There's more for us to do. I got a special message for you. Stick and stay. More is coming the way. More is coming your way. On the other side of the break is more breakthrough. After these messages, I'm coming right back. Are you an author or aspiring author interested in building your book? Do you want to develop as a speaker and communicator? Listen, check out my array of solutions and systems, like my bestseller book blueprint and successful speaker strategies. Explore my tailor-made programs designed to nurture your purpose and grow your greatness. In order to increase your ideas, your impact, and your influence, visit us today at theeaglesacademy.com/store so you can soar. Yes, y'all, and we don't stop. I want you to make sure that you heed to the resources that you heard. Let's get back to the word. We're talking about emotions. Why strong men struggle. Oftentimes, strong men struggle not because of the struggles that in many cases have been exacted upon them, but oftentimes we struggle simply because we refuse to reflect. And hear me, when you refuse to reflect, you will always deflect. You know how you deflect? You deflect by blame shifting. You deflect by believing it's always everybody else's issue. You deflect through gaslighting and narcissism. Come on, family, type reflect. Manhood is more than a destination, it's a journey of reflection. These are my reflections, flexions. Yeah. Just when I thought I could say all I could say, I got more to say. There has to be a level of reflection that I'm looking internally within the soil of my soul. What are my issues? What are my pain points? What are the things that are still affecting me in my adulthood that I have not addressed from my childhood? What is the state of my relationships? Here's one thing when you think about relationships. A lot of times, when you ask somebody either why they're single, much less why you're divorced, much less why did your last relationship not work out, why did the marriage not work out, most people will go into blame shifting mode about what that person did versus about what they did, much less what they allowed. Because here's the thing. When you think about the amalgamation of all of your relationships, them not working out, who's the common denominator? Oh, it's tight, but it's going to be all right. Can I teach it how I feel it? Can I teach it how I hear it? Common denominator is you. Stuff we don't really want to hear. But here's the thing. That's the power of reflection. That's what grandmama said. I got to keep it like a T.I. I got to tell it like a T.I. is. Got to keep it 100. Family, type 100. Drop 100 in the chat. Common denominator is you. As fine as you are, common denominator is you. As handsome as you are, common denominator is you. Beyond your designer t-shirt, it's about addressing your trauma. More than your muscles or your Mercedes or the hat that you're wearing, it's about your mental health. It's about healing your emotions. And here's the thing, a lot of us as men don't even want to embrace the whole aspect that we do have emotions. How are you going to be emotionally intelligent if you don't want to discard your emotions? You're just going to be a shell of yourself all your life? You're just going to put an icebox where your heart used to be? I'm so cold, I'm so cold, I'm so cold, I'm so cold. You're just going to allow trauma to turn you inside out? For us, many of us, even as men, we turn off our emotions because it brings back so many scars. It brings back so many memories. It brings back so many wounds. And generally, the people who act the toughest are the most sensitive. Let me say it again. Generally, the people who regard themselves as a savage, much less see themselves as the toughest, are the most sensitive. You can't even spell thug without hug. More than the exterior is about the interior. It's about the immaterial self of true manhood. And hear me, when we dare to look into the mirror and see beyond just our selfies, see beyond just our pseudo societal reflection, we then see the essence of who we are at our core. We got to do the work to grapple with our pain. We have to do the work to grapple with our proclivities and our problems and our personal plight. Got to look beyond the suit, but also look at the scars. Got to hold ourselves accountable by making changes to what it is that we see internally. Not always easy to be a man. I need you to understand that, sisters. It's not always easy to be a man. Why? Because we know how to act like we have it all together. Even strong men struggle. We know how to act like we got it all together publicly while struggling privately. Dealing with the hurt, dealing with the pain, dealing with the abuse, dealing with the shame, dealing with the unspoken issues. And here's what I realized. We can't heal from any of it if we refuse to deal with any of it. We can't heal from any of it if we refuse to deal with all of it. How can you address what you won't confess? How can you heal from what you won't deal with? How can you fight what you refuse to face? And here's the thing, admitting to your brokenness doesn't mean you're a man of weakness. What does it do? It exposes your strength. Because the most courageous thing that you can possibly do as a man is to course correct. One of the most courageous things that you can possibly do as a man is to pinpoint the pain. To say, all right, this is an issue in my life. I need to redirect. I need to redress. I need to reconfigure. I need to redevelop my life. Not always easy to admit it. But nothing is going to change without change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So we've got to address it rather than ignore it. We have to place ourselves around other individuals who are also going to hold us accountable. Accountability partners. Listen, you got workout partners at the gym. Got your homeboy who you go to the gym with. Yeah, bro, I'm going to be here at 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, bro, I'm going to be here at 8. I'm going to be here at 8 a.m. I'm going to be here at 8 p.m. You got your workout partner. But what about the the partners that are in your life are going to help you to work through issues. Not just working out to build muscle, but working out the issues to build your mentality. Yeah, I need more than just a weight spotter. I need a mental spotter. I need a mental spotter. Somebody's gonna say, "Yep, that's a spot right there. That's a pinpoint. That's a level that, bro, you can grow in." We're gonna hold ourselves accountable. These are things that we're dealing with. These are things that we're grappling with. These are things that are temptations. These are things that are pain points. How many of us as men have those types of brothers in our lives? It's great to have somebody to go to the gym with. It's great to have somebody to go to an event with. It's great to have somebody to shoot the breeze with. Great to have somebody to go to the game with. But how many of us actually have brothers who we can pray with? How many of us have mentors that we can actually confide in? We have to debunk the myth that it's not masculine for men to ask for help. Because here's the thing, we are asking for help in our actions. We're asking for help when you're dealing with alcoholism. You're asking for help when you're suffering in silence. You're asking for help when you're struggling with pornography. You're asking for help when you're an abuser. You're asking for help when you won't be present in the life of your children. You're not verbalizing it, but your actions are speaking loudly for you. Real men seek out help. You're not less of a man if you cry. You're not less of a man if you feel lost. You're not less of a man if you don't even know what your next move is supposed to be. And see, these negative connotations are debilitating to the human spirit and the experience of being a man. What do we have to do? We have to change the maladaptive connotations of what manhood and masculinity is all about. Manhood does not mean you always have the answers. Why? Because a know-it-all really knows nothing at all. Got to change the narrative with one boy. We have to change the narrative with one man at a time. Because being a man is about being real with yourself. Manhood is not a destination. Manhood is a journey. It's a journey of reflection. It's a journey of direction. It's a journey of affirmation. It's a journey of self-validation, because each day we are in a fight. You know what the fight is? Come on, family, type keep fighting. Type keep fighting. Fight the good fight of faith. Every day we are in a fight with who we are, who we used to be, and who we are becoming. Let me say it again. Every day we're in that fight with who I am presently, who I used to be in my past, and who I'm becoming for my future. And oftentimes, we are so stuck in who we used to be that we never become who we're supposed to be. Somebody's waiting for you to become who you are so they can become who they're supposed to be. My brother, how much longer will you make them wait? How much longer will you make them wait? Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear scars. Our scars of struggle strengthen us. Manhood and masculinity is not about being a caricature. It's about developing our true essence, our true character. It's tapping into our he motions. It's not taking off the E off of emotion and just making motion. No, guess what? Guess what that motion is? Generally, that motion is you going in circles. That motion is not you making forward progression. Come on, family, type progress. Type progress. Progress, progress. For all the stress, God's giving you progress. Healing my emotions. My emotions are connected to my mental health. How I think is how I feel. I think, therefore I am. Isaiah 26:3 says, I will keep you in perfect peace if you keep your mind stayed on me. That state of peace is an emotion. Yeah. Are you in a state of emotional upheaval? Are you in a state of emotional tranquility? Peace. Keep you in perfect peace if you keep your mind stayed on me. And a lot of times we are not in perfect peace because we keep thinking about how imperfect we are. We keep thinking about how imperfect life looks for us. We keep thinking about how imperfect we look. We keep thinking about how imperfect it is that we're going to be. I remember mentoring a guy. And in many cases, he was dealing with body dysmorphia. How we saw that he looked on the outside was not how he felt on the inside. The guy was going almost 7 days a week. You got to give yourself at least a rest day going to the gym. 7 days a week, just lifting and lifting, 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 lifting. Pre-workout, post-workout, mid-workout. Taking all these supplements to try to achieve a certain body image compared to certain bodybuilders and weightlifters. And no matter how big he got, he always felt small. No matter how much weight he put on externally, he was dealing with the weight of what it felt like he was losing internally. And so what do we have to do? We had to delve deep into why he felt how he felt. And oftentimes it was due to the fact of childhood situations and issues. The loss of a loved one. Not being there. Now trying to overcompensate for what he didn't receive. How many of us as brothers are trying to overcompensate for what we receive? To the world, we will look big, but internally we feel small. I'm trying to talk to y'all. Come here, my bruh. Come here, my sis. Let's huddle up. The world, it looks like you got it all together. But internally and private is all falling apart. Why? Because you haven't tapped into the essence of your heart. Come on, family, type heart. Bro, you can't tell me you got real heart and you're going to avoid the issues in your heart. Sometimes things have to fall apart for them to come together. Isn't it interesting? That mentee that I was speaking to, no matter how big he looked, he felt small. Do you hear me? He was gaslighting himself. And the enemy is the ultimate gaslighter. He gaslit Adam and Eve in the garden. He's going to always gaslight you with questions, to question who it is that you are and how you feel about yourself. Did God really say this? Did he really promise you that? Are you really the man that you're supposed to be? So you think you a man? Come on. I thought you was the head of the house. I thought you had all the solutions. People oftentimes gaslighting us because we know how to gaslight ourselves. For some of us, no matter how big the name is, no matter how big our bank account is, no matter how big our body is, no matter how big the Benz is, no matter how big the circle of friends is, we still feel small. You're a giant. Why you see yourself as a grasshopper? Come on, you mean to tell me you keep repeating the scripture, greater is he that is within me than he that's in the world? The first part of it is greater. Why you feel lesser? How do you feel lesser when you're connected to the blesser? Why? Because here it is, you're dealing with so many different stressors. And as a result, we presently live in the past because we have unhealed trauma. I need you to hear me. When we have unhealed trauma, we bleed on people who didn't cut us. When we have unhealed trauma, we cut ourselves with stinking thinking. When we have unhealed trauma, the words of self-doubt and dismay become a stain on our brain. When we have unhealed trauma, here it is, we pair bond with people who reflect our trauma. And so as a result, we trauma bond. Dr. Joy DeGroy, in her book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, shares about the wounds that we carry in our DNA. Emanates from our ancestors, the ancestral baggage of what it is that we have not unpacked. The subjugation of our race. It's the abuse, it's the neglect, it's the painful experiences, the negative circumstances, the trying tribulations and the tempestuous trials and situations, the hurt that manifests and metastasizes in our relationships with others, much less the relationship with ourselves. Can I drive this thing home? Until you heal the boy that is internal. Come on, family, type HTA, hard truth alert. Until you heal the boy that is internal, then the grown boy, the grown you rather, will only be a shell of yourself because you're not your authentic self. Let me say it twice because it's oh so nice. Until you heal the boy that is internal, then the grown you as a man will only be a shell of yourself because you're not your authentic self. And to a certain degree, you're really not a man. You're just a grown boy. You're a grown male. Difference between a male and a man. You know how to operate in what's below your waist. That just makes you male. But how you operate in what's above your neck is what makes you a man. Male is someone who just operates in their gender. Man is someone who operates in their God-given gift through respectability and responsibility, because there is no respectability without responsibility. Are you following me? And hear me, when it comes to the place of hearing and dealing with and grappling with your emotions, the fact of why strong men struggle. The reason why strong men struggle is because the enemy understands the vision that is within a man. Society understands that where a man goes, there goes the community. Society understands that where a man goes, so goes the house, so goes the home, so goes the house, so goes the school, so goes the church, so goes his identity. Breakdown of the family is oftentimes a breakdown of masculinity. Sometimes here it is, even being emasculated by the very one who should make you feel elated. Man is like a boxer. Doesn't want to have to fight in the ring and in the corner too. He's fighting on all sides. He knows especially if he's a man of color, if he's a black man, brown man. He knows he's going to get called out of his name in society. He knows there's going to be some conflict on the job. He knows in many cases he's seen as not just a pariah and a predator in America's eyes. He's seen as a pariah and a predator in his own community. So when he gets on the phone and when he gets at home with you, are you hitting him too? No, I know it may not be with your fist, but are you creating fights? May not be with your fist, but it might be with your words. Because your tongue is a sword. That's not necessarily sewing him up, but in many cases, sometimes it's chopping him up. Your words are a sword. Don't want to fight in the ring in the corner too. In the ring, I know I'm going to get hit. But in the corner, there's something called a cut man. No, isn't it interesting? The cut man doesn't cut you. The cut man bandages your cuts. Bandages your wounds, bandages your bruises. Are you beating on the man? Or are you speaking to the champion that's in him? Because in every man is a kid and a king. In every man is a lion and a lamb. He's going to either roar with you, or to a certain degree, he's going to silence it against you. Because generally, when a man is going through something, this is what you hear. Absolutely nothing. Because oftentimes silence can speak so loud. Feeling emotional, being vulnerable, doesn't diminish your masculinity. We have to confront the misnomer about men. Because men struggle. Strong men struggle. I want to talk to the strong man that's struggling. Know how to be strong in person. You know how to be strong in public, but you struggle privately. You know how to put on the Ritz. You know how to act like you got it all together for your wife, for your children, for your bae and your boo. At the job, making money, pulling up to the scene with your ceiling missing, being G'd up from the feet up, but that's all external. And you're fighting internal battles, dealing with war wounds. You're grappling with mental missiles and spiritual snipers looking to stifle your success. You're dealing with all the things of what it is, of how you weren't loved and how you weren't embraced and how you weren't ingratiated and how you weren't affirmed as a boy because your father wasn't there. Now you're dealing with father wounds because your mother didn't show up for you like you wanted her to. And now in many cases you're dealing with mother wounds because certain siblings were prioritized more than you, because nobody really loved you and valued you, because nobody ever allowed you to move to the place to where you were able to deal with your emotions, that it was okay to cry, but it didn't make you a girl. Because of the abuse of what it is that you experienced, that you never verbalized, the molestation, the mistreatment that nobody ever allowed you to speak to. Because they question your sexuality. They question your identity. They question your masculinity. So you always went through life trying to be the tough guy. You always went through life trying to embody the whole mindset of a savage. And you'd hurt them before they ever hurt you. I want to talk to you. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I hope it's you. There's still hope for you. despite the bid that you may have done for 10 or 15, 20 years behind bars. You could be free while still incarcerated. Emotional upheaval, psychological incarceration. The brother I'm speaking to, listen, you've been in a prison without bars. It's time to be free. Can never be free for until you're free from. Being free from what they said to you. Being free from what they said about you. Being free from what they did to you. God wants to unveil the healed man in you. Come on, family, type a healed man. Come on, King, it's time to wear your crown. In the midst, men get heartbroken. Men get depressed. Men get tired, whether you realize it or not, sis. Men worry about their future. Men get cheated on. Men get abused. Men feel judged. Men cry. Men fear failure. Men feel shame. Men have trauma. Many men have anxiety. And so what do men need? We need safe spaces. When we struggle with being vulnerable. Men have insecurities. Men get lonely. Men even doubt themselves. Men often lack direction. Men need healing. Men need self-care. Men need therapy. Men need mentors. Men need to manage, manifest, maintain, and use God's manual to make their life work. I know you're asking those questions. How do I discover my purpose? How do I overcome addiction? How do I deal with this struggle? I know how to be strong, but I'm struggling as a man. It is understanding that I can't just take my problems to people with problems. I have to take my problem to the problem solver. Because there is a man from the ghettos of Galilee, born in the neighborhoods of Nazareth. Ghettos of Galilee, born in the boroughs of Bethlehem, nestled in the neighborhoods of Nazareth. Jesus, who is the quintessential man. The man who cried, Jesus wept. The man who was betrayed. The man who was misused, miscalculated, miscounted. Rose out of the ashes, died for you and rose. And it's time for you as a man to rise. Come on, family, type rise. Time for you as the man to rise in your home. Time for you as a man to take off the disguise and rise. Rise to the occasion. Rise and create a standard. It's on you to rise. Our community will not rise any higher than you rise. You rise by putting your eyes on the prize. You rise by looking to the hills from where your help comes, for your help comes from the Lord. God is restoring your vision as a man. God is restoring your vision as a husband. God is just restoring your vision as a provider, as a protector, as the priest of your home. It's time for you to rise and wear your crown like the king that you are. Greatness is in you. Empowerment is in you. Healing is in you. Love is in you. Emotional stability is within you. It's on you to rise. Listen, I want to pray for every king. Yeah, for every keenly intelligent, noble gentleman. More than just a word, it's about works. Time to make your life work. Time for you to do what God has created and called and crafted for you to do. God has empowered you to be a change agent for such a time as this. Good and gracious God, we thank you for every man who is watching. We thank you for every woman who loves these men. Thank you for every son, for every grandfather, for every husband, for every brother, for every nephew, for every cousin. Thank you for every leader that you've called him for such a time as this. So God, right now, put a hedge of protection around his mind, around his emotions, around his spirit, around his heart. God, do the heart work that's on the inside of him. I speak vision right now. I speak healing right now from every childhood torment and pain of what it is that you went through. You are not what they did to you. You are not what they said about you. You are not the prison sentence you served. You're more than that, because you're more than a conqueror. You're more than that street life. You're more than the brokenness of what it is that you've experienced. You're more than the divorce. You're more than having your children pulled away from you. You're more than grappling with your identity and your masculinity. You are the man that God has called you to be. Right now, God, bring out real identity. Bring out clarity. Bring out more than just bravado, but bring out brilliance. Bring out breakthroughs. Give them inventions right now. Increase their ideas, increase their impact, increase their influence. Make them entrepreneurs right now. We thank you for the pastors that you're cultivating. We thank you for the leaders. We thank you for the community members. We thank you for the ministers. We thank you for the educators. We thank you for the real men. We thank you for those industry leaders that I'm speaking to right now. You will not live silenced in shame. God is calling you to be a voice of victory right now. So we speak healing. We speak deliverance. We speak the fact that who the Son has made free is free indeed. You're free from every addiction. That addiction of what it is that you've been struggling with. The addictions of what it is that you've been grappling with. The self-sabotage, you're free from it right now. In Jesus' name, to be the man that God has called you to be. Come on, family, if you believe it, if you're praying for the man in your life, if you're praying that God does it, that's going to be exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask or think, why don't you rejoice that it's already done? Yeah. God is healing the husband that you've been expecting. God is restoring the hearts of the children back to the fathers and the hearts of the fathers back to the children. Come on, family, type restoration. Restoration is happening in the hearts of our men. Restoration is happening for a generation of men. The sins of the father will not repeat itself in this bloodline. Whatever ran in your family now runs out. Because you've been bought with a price by the blood. And your bloodline is delivered. It's delivered. It's delivered. Family, I want you to sow into this word that you've heard. I want you to sow into this courageous conversation. I want you to sow into this deliverance. Yeah. Emotions. Why strong men struggle. Your strength is made perfect in weakness. For when you are weak, then he's strong for you. You're a restored man. Once you sow into this word that you've heard, some of you can give a $30 seed. Some of you can give a $60 seed. Some of you may be giving a $5 seed, a $10 seed. I don't know what the level of your faith is, but I want you to sow at the level of your faith. I want you to sow for what you expect for your son. Yeah, I want you to sow for you expect for your future husband. I want you to sow for you expect for your spouse in your house. I want you to sow what you expect for your cousin, for your grandfather, for the healing that you want in his life. I want you to sow what you expect for your cousin and for your nephew. I know we're going past curfew, but I want you to sow. And as you're sowing, it's a season of sowing. It's a season where you are soaring. I want you to sow where you sow. I want you to sow where you grow. It's not as a debt that you owe, it's a seed that you sow. I'm joining my faith to yours, 30, 60, 100-fold for what you expect God to do. And as you're sowing your seed, you know I want you to name your seed. Some of you can sow on the level of Cash App, $Access Identity, PayPal, Zelle as well, EddieConnorJr gmail.com. Super chat, super sticker. You've been having a super conversation. I want you to sow on that level. God's doing something in the lives of men. And you're going to live to see it happen. You're going to live to see it happen. Yeah. There's a lot of love is flowing from the hearts of men. You're going to live to see it happen. That's right. Thank you for sowing. Thank you for your super chat, your super sticker. Thank you for your Cash App, for your Zelle, for your PayPal. You're sowing into good ground. I'm believing God is going to surround you with what it is that you're expecting. Family, if you're not a part of our Eagles Academy, right now is a great time to go ahead and join us. I know there's a lot of breakthrough here, but it gets greater in our community as an innovator. Join us, theeaglesacademy.com. It's where I coach, where I teach, where I train, it's where I mentor, it's where our private group coaching breakthroughs take place and happen. Where I'm giving Eagles Nest reflections, where I'm writing on the board and I'm giving all these diagrams and strategies, instructions, solutions, and systems to take your vision to another dimension. You owe it to you to be a part of it. TheEaglesAcademy.com. When you get there, tap the Join Now button, fill out the form, be transformed. Come on, bro, join us. My brother from another mother, yes. My sister from another mister, absolutely. Come on. YouTube membership is available as well. We have 3 tiers, VIP, Royalty, OQP. Join us on one of those levels so we can go to another level together. Family, In the Mix is out of time. But y'all know I'm not out of truth. Y'all know I'm not out of truth. I hope you got a lot of truth here. Truth, transparency, vulnerability for victory. I want to thank you for rocking with me. I want to thank you for riding with me. I want to thank you for rolling with me. Why? Because that's just how we roll. And so, we'll continue to roll together each and every single Monday through Friday. Every weekday, we win over and over again. As you hear on the YouTube side, come on, hit the thumbs up button, family. It's been an explosion of inspiration. Hit the thumbs up button, please. Yeah, please and thank you. I'm growing your greatness. Help me to grow my channel. While you're here on the channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Of course, follow me on social media at EddieConnorJr. Y'all keep showing love. I'm going to keep showing up. If I can help you, if I can serve you in any way, please reach out to me. If you're looking for a dynamic speaker, I'd love to be there. Invite me to speak at your men's conference, your community, your church, your school, your session, Let's make progression. Email me, info@EddieConnor.com. Come on, put some respect on my name. Yes, info@EddieConnor.com. Yours truly, Dr. Eddie, your main man, 100 grand, your brother. And I mean that, from another mother. Family has been fun, but I gotta run. But I want you to know, it's been a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure. But I want you, yes, you, to remember to keep the faith and believe it's gonna be bigger, better, and a whole lot brighter. Peace. And yeah, a whole lot of love too. Keep soaring higher. Let's soar beyond my YouTube channel. If you want something that goes beyond here, you're in for a treat. I have a private mentorship group where I coach, where I teach, and I provide live Q&A insight in our interactive breakout sessions. It's where I challenge you with innovative exercises to develop your skill set. And I provide feedback to foster your growth. We break it all down to build you up in our private Zoom room as we focus on transformative topics with accountability partners who really desire to grow their greatness by soaring into success and greater purpose. Come on, soar to new heights with us in our Eagles Academy. Get your wings to win, and let's soar into more at theeaglesacademy.com.